As Captain Roy Adams stood on the bridge of the HSS Indomitable, the weight of his decision pressed heavily upon him. The Hazari fleet, now decimated and in disarray, floated like ghostly remnants in the void of space. Their once formidable armada reduced to wreckage and debris, a testament to the Indomitable's overwhelming power. Roy glanced at the tactical display, where the escape pods launched from the Hazari homeworld twinkled like distant stars, fleeing in all directions. His finger hovered over the console, poised to enact the final judgment on a civilization that had brought so much suffering to humanity. But as he stared at the blinking lights representing the helpless civilians aboard those pods, a wave of doubt washed over him. Were they truly helpless, or were they complicit in the atrocities committed by their leaders? Roy's mind flashed back to the faces of the innocent victims of Hazari aggression, their lives cut short in brutal attacks. He remembered the screams of the wounded and the sight of devastated colonies. Yet, amidst the turmoil, a voice inside him spoke of mercy, a concept almost forgotten in the crucible of war. Could he, in good conscience, condemn these civilians to the same fate that had befallen so many of his own people? Roy clenched his jaw, his knuckles whitening against the console. His gaze hardened with resolve as he made his decision. He would not stoop to the Hazari's level. He would not become the monster he had fought against for so long. "Stand down," Roy commanded, his voice steady but laced with the weight of authority. "Prepare to withdraw from the system." The crew exchanged uncertain glances, some visibly tense with anticipation of what would come next. But they knew better than to question their captain's orders. Slowly, the Indomitable powered down its weapons systems, the hum of energy dissipating into the vast silence of space. As the tension on the bridge eased, Roy felt a mix of relief and apprehension settle over him. His choice had been made, but he knew it would have far-reaching consequences. The Galactic Council, ever watchful over the delicate balance of power in the galaxy, would undoubtedly scrutinize his actions. He turned to his communications officer. "Prepare a message for the Council," Roy instructed. "Inform them of our engagement with the Hazari fleet and our decision to withhold further military action." The officer nodded briskly, her fingers dancing across the console to compose the formal transmission. The message would be critical in shaping how humanity would be perceived in the aftermath of this encounter, a test of their commitment to peace and restraint. As the Indomitable initiated its withdrawal from the Hazari system, Roy allowed himself a moment to reflect. The scars of war ran deep within him, reminders of the countless battles and sacrifices that had brought him to this pivotal moment. He couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning, that the galaxy, vast and unpredictable, held more challenges and trials in store for humanity. Back at the Galactic Council headquarters, tensions ran high as news of the skirmish in the Hazari system reached the desks of diplomats and ambassadors from across the galaxy. The council chambers buzzed with speculation and debate as representatives of various species gathered to discuss the implications of the recent conflict. Among them, Ambassador Kthran of the Zeltari stood out, a towering figure with iridescent scales that shimmered in the ambient light of the chamber. Kthran's species had long advocated for peace and diplomacy, viewing military intervention as a last resort in interstellar disputes. "The humans have shown restraint," Kthran addressed the assembly, their voice resonating with a deep, melodic timbre. "They could have annihilated the Hazari, yet they chose to withdraw. This should not be overlooked." Across the chamber, Ambassador Vrax of the Tor Alliance raised a skeptical brow. "Restraint or hesitation?" they countered, their voice sharp with skepticism. "We cannot ignore the fact that the humans possess technology far beyond what is permitted under Council regulations. Who's to say they won't use it again?" The debate raged on, each species presenting their perspectives and concerns. The fate of the Hazari hung in the balance, their future uncertain amidst the backdrop of diplomatic maneuvering and political posturing. Meanwhile, aboard the Indomitable, Roy Adams grappled with the aftermath of his decision. Alone in his quarters, he stared out into the depths of space, his thoughts a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. The memories of past battles haunted him, the faces of fallen comrades, the cries of innocents caught in the crossfire. He had sworn an oath to protect humanity, to ensure that the horrors of war would never again darken their doorstep. But at what cost? Could he truly safeguard their future without compromising their ideals? A chime broke the silence, signaling an incoming transmission. Roy straightened, his demeanor shifting to one of steely resolve as he accepted the call. It was from Admiral Garza, a seasoned officer and mentor who had guided Roy through the darkest days of the Terran-Hazari conflict. "Captain," Garza's voice crackled over the comm, his expression grave yet measured. You've made a difficult choice, one that will define our relations with the Council and the Hazari. But remember this, leadership is not just about making the right decisions, it's about accepting the consequences, whatever they may be. Roy nodded, absorbing Garza's words with a sense of grim determination. The road ahead will be fraught with challenges, both diplomatic and personal. But he would face them head-on, with the resolve of a captain who had seen the ravages of war and still dared to hope for peace. As the transmission ended, Roy gazed once more into the starlit expanse before him. Beyond the shimmering veil of cosmic dust and distant galaxies, a future awaited, a future shaped by his choices, his convictions, and the unwavering spirit of humanity. In the hallowed chambers of the Galactic Council, representatives from the major species gathered to debate the repercussions of the recent conflict involving the Hazari and the human vessel HSS Indomitable. Tensions were palpable, as the counselors argued passionately for their respective positions. Ambassador Kthran of the Zeltari, known for their advocacy of diplomacy and peace, stood firm in their support of Captain Roy Adams' decision to withhold further military action. The humans have demonstrated restraint and a commitment to peace, Kthran emphasized, their voice resonating across the chamber. We must acknowledge their efforts and seek a path forward that ensures stability in our galaxy. Across the aisle, Ambassador Vrax of the Tor Alliance remained skeptical. Restraint or weakness? They challenged, their species renowned for their cautious approach to interstellar conflicts. Can we afford to trust the humans with such formidable technology, knowing they possess capabilities far beyond what is deemed acceptable under Council regulations? The debate continued late into the cycle, with counselors from other species weighing in with their perspectives. Some argued for harsher sanctions against humanity, citing concerns over unchecked technological advancements. Others echoed Kthran's sentiments, advocating for dialogue and diplomacy to resolve the growing tensions. Amidst the diplomatic tumult, a lone Hazari envoy arrived at the Galactic Council headquarters, a solemn figure adorned in traditional Hazari garb, their presence a stark reminder of the devastation wrought by the conflict. "I come to plead for mercy," the Hazari envoy addressed the council, their voice tinged with sorrow and regret. "Our leaders have brought shame upon our people with their reckless pursuit of power. We seek redemption and a chance to rebuild our shattered society." The chamber fell silent as the Hazari envoy recounted tales of loss and suffering inflicted upon their own people by tyrannical rulers who had led them astray. They spoke of a populace torn between loyalty to their homeworld and the desire for peace with neighboring species. Ambassador Kthran rose from their seat, their expression one of solemn understanding. "The Hazari have suffered greatly," Kthran acknowledged, their gaze sweeping across the assembly. "But their plea for redemption offers a path toward reconciliation. Let us not forget that mercy and forgiveness are among the virtues that define our alliance." The council deliberated long into the cycle, weighing the Hazari's plea for redemption against the concerns raised by Ambassador Vrax and others. The fate of an entire species hung in the balance, a test of the council's commitment to justice and reconciliation in a galaxy scarred by conflict. Back aboard the HSS Indomitable, Captain Roy Adams reflected on the unfolding events with a mixture of hope and uncertainty. The decisions made by the Galactic Council would shape the future of humanity and its relations with a wider galaxy for cycles to come. Captain, Commander Liera Carter interrupted his thoughts, entering the bridge with a determined expression. "We've received an update from Council headquarters." Roy nodded, steeling himself for the news. "What's the word, Commander?" Commander Carter hesitated briefly before continuing. "The Council has reached a decision," she announced, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "Humanity will be granted the opportunity to lead the efforts in assisting the Hazari in rebuilding their society under Council supervision." Roy exhaled slowly, a weight lifting from his shoulders. It was a chance for redemption for both humanity and the Hazari. "Prepare to set course for Hazari Prime," he instructed, his voice firm with resolve. "We have much work to do." As the Indomitable charted a course toward the distant reaches of the galaxy, Roy Adams looked out into the starlit expanse before him. Beyond the shimmering veil of cosmic dust and distant galaxies, the future awaited, a future shaped by his choices, his convictions, and the enduring spirit of unity and cooperation among the species of the Galactic Council. Upon arriving at Hazari Prime, the HSS Indomitable found itself amidst a scene of both devastation and hope. The once vibrant planet now bore the scars of war, crumbled cities, shattered infrastructure, and a populace grappling with the aftermath of conflict. Roy Adams and his crew disembarked with a solemn determination, ready to assist in the daunting task of rebuilding. Human engineers and technicians worked alongside Hazari survivors, their collaboration a testament to newfound solidarity amidst past animosities. Roy oversaw the deployment of resources and technologies, ensuring that the reconstruction efforts were efficient and equitable. Slowly but steadily, Hazari cities began to rise from the ruins, a symbol of resilience and cooperation in the face of adversity. As weeks turned into cycles, challenges emerged that tested the fragile peace between humanity and the Hazari. Some factions within both species resisted reconciliation, clinging to grievances of the past and harboring suspicions of each other's motives. Incidents of sabotage and mistrust threatened to unravel the progress made, casting shadows of doubt over the prospects for lasting peace. Roy Adams found himself navigating treacherous diplomatic waters, negotiating with hardliners on both sides while striving to uphold the principles of cooperation and mutual respect. His resolve was tested daily, his decisions scrutinized by allies and adversaries alike. Yet amidst the turmoil, Roy remained steadfast in his belief that dialogue and understanding were the keys to forging a path forward. Amidst the delicate dance of diplomacy, a shocking revelation shook the foundations of the fragile peace. Intelligence reports indicated that a clandestine group within the Hazari hierarchy, known as the Shadow Council, had been clandestinely plotting to undermine the reconstruction efforts and incite renewed hostilities with humanity. Roy Adams and his crew raced against time to uncover the truth, their investigation leading them through a labyrinth of conspiracies and deceit. They uncovered evidence of covert communications, illicit arms smuggling, and clandestine meetings held in the darkest corners of Hazari Prime. The stakes were higher than ever. The fate of the fragile peace hung in the balance. Armed with irrefutable evidence of the Shadow Council's treachery, Roy Adams confronted the Hazari leadership with a mixture of resolve and disappointment. "We came here to rebuild together, to forge a new future based on trust and cooperation," Roy declared, his voice echoing with righteous indignation. "But some among you would choose the path of deception and betrayal." The Hazari leaders stood before him, their expressions a mix of shame and defiance. "It was a mistake," one of them admitted, their voice tinged with regret. "We allowed fear and mistrust to cloud our judgment. But we are committed to peace, Captain Adams. We will root out the traitors and restore our honor." Roy nodded solemnly, recognizing the sincerity in their words. "We must work together to ensure that this never happens again," he insisted, extending a hand of reconciliation. "The future of our species depends on our ability to rise above old grievances and embrace a shared destiny." With the Shadow Council dismantled and their schemes exposed, humanity and the Hazari embarked on a renewed path toward reconciliation and mutual prosperity. Joint initiatives in science, culture, and trade flourished, strengthening the bonds forged in the crucible of conflict and redemption. Roy Adams watched with pride as Hazari children played alongside human youths in newly rebuilt parks, their laughter echoing through the streets once marred by war. The scars of the past remained, but they served as reminders of the resilience and determination that had brought them to this moment of hope and unity. As the HSS Indomitable prepared to depart Hazari Prime, Roy reflected on the journey that had led them here, the battles fought, the sacrifices made, and the enduring spirit of cooperation that had triumphed over adversity. The galaxy was vast and filled with challenges, but Roy Adams knew that as long as humanity and its allies stood united, they would face the future with courage and conviction. As the HSS Indomitable continued its journey through the galaxy, Roy Adams received an urgent summons to the Galactic Assembly, a gathering of representatives from countless worlds, convened to address pressing issues of interstellar peace and cooperation. The assembly was a sprawling metropolis floating in the void, a testament to the diversity and complexity of galactic politics. Roy entered the vast chamber, filled with alien delegates from species both familiar and utterly alien to humanity. The air buzzed with myriad languages and the hum of translators, while holographic displays projected images of distant worlds and celestial phenomena. It was a scene of grandeur and gravitas, a reminder of the interconnectedness of civilizations spanning light years of space. Amidst the debates and deliberations of the assembly, alarming reports surfaced of a new threat emerging on the galactic horizon, a rogue faction of cybernetic beings known as the synthari. The synthari had long existed on the fringes of galactic society, their cybernetic enhancements and inscrutable motives making them a source of unease and suspicion among other species. Intelligence gathered by Council agents indicated that the synthari had begun to aggressively expand their territory, assimilating lesser species into their collective consciousness and threatening the sovereignty of neighboring star systems. Their advanced technology and singular purpose posed a formidable challenge to the delicate balance of power in the galaxy, prompting urgent calls for unified action from the Assembly. Recognizing the gravity of the synthari threat, Roy Adams joined forces with allies old and new to forge an alliance of necessity. Human diplomats engaged in intense negotiations with council representatives and independent factions, seeking to mobilize a coalition capable of confronting the synthari menace head-on. The HSS Indomitable became a rallying point for the coalition, its formidable reputation and battle-hardened crew inspiring confidence among allies and striking fear into the hearts of adversaries. Roy Adams found himself at the center of a complex web of alliances and rivalries, navigating diplomatic minefields and forging bonds of trust amidst the looming specter of war. With the alliance assembled and battle plans finalized, Roy Adams led the coalition fleet into the heart of synthari territory, the binary star system of Epsilon Prime. The vastness of space became a battlefield, as human and allied warships engaged in fierce combat against the relentless onslaught of synthari drones and warships. The battle raged for cycles, a symphony of laser fire and explosive bursts illuminating the void. Roy's tactical acumen and decisive leadership proved instrumental in turning the tide of battle, as allied forces coordinated their attacks and exploited weaknesses in the synthari's algorithmic strategies. Against all odds, humanity and its allies fought with valor and determination, refusing to yield in the face of overwhelming adversity. After cycles of intense fighting, the coalition emerged victorious in the Battle of Epsilon Prime. The synthari forces were shattered, their formidable war machine dismantled by the relentless onslaught of human and allied firepower. Roy Adams watched from the bridge of the HSS Indomitable as synthari vessels drifted lifelessly in the void, their once imposing presence reduced to smoldering wrecks. Yet victory came at a cost. Many brave souls had made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of their species and the galactic community at large. Roy bowed his head in solemn remembrance of those who had fallen, their names etched into the annals of history as heroes who had laid down their lives for a future free from tyranny and oppression. In the aftermath of the Battle of Epsilon Prime, Roy Adams and his crew turned their attention once more to the task of rebuilding, a galaxy scarred by war yet united in the promise of a better tomorrow. Human engineers and scientists work alongside alien counterparts to restore devastated worlds and revitalize shattered communities, their efforts a testament to the resilience of the galactic spirit. Amidst the reconstruction efforts, Roy found moments of quiet reflection aboard the Indomitable. He gazed out at the stars, contemplating the journey that had brought them to this pivotal moment in history. The galaxy was vast and filled with challenges yet to be faced, but Roy Adams knew that as long as humanity stood united with its allies, there was hope for a future where peace and prosperity could flourish. As the galaxy began to recover from the aftermath of the Battle of Epsilon Prime, reports surfaced of scattered remnants of the synthari faction continuing to pose a threat in isolated sectors. These pockets of resistance, though diminished, remained a persistent reminder of the synthari's tenacity and the ongoing struggle to fully eradicate their influence. Roy Adams and his crew found themselves embroiled in a series of skirmishes against these rogue synthari units. Each encounter tested their resolve and ingenuity as they hunted down elusive enemy cells hiding in the shadows of distant star systems. The Indomitable became a stalwart guardian, tracking and neutralizing synthari remnants with precision and relentless determination. Amidst the ongoing conflict with the synthari remnants, tensions simmered within the Galactic Council. Some member worlds voiced concerns over the continued presence of human warships operating beyond recognized Council authority, arguing that such actions risked destabilizing fragile interstellar relations. Council emissaries approached Roy Adams with diplomatic overtures, urging restraint and adherence to Council protocols in future military engagements. The discussions were fraught with diplomatic nuance and political maneuvering, reflecting the diverse perspectives and interests of the galaxy's myriad civilizations. Unbeknownst to the coalition forces, a shadowy cabal within the Galactic Council harbored ulterior motives. Secretly aligned with remnants of the synthari faction, these clandestine operatives sought to undermine the coalition's efforts from within, sowing seeds of doubt and discord among member worlds. Roy Adams and his allies uncovered evidence of this treachery through covert intelligence operations. They uncovered a web of deceit and manipulation designed to weaken the coalition's resolve and pave the way for a resurgence of synthari influence. With the stakes higher than ever, Roy faced a new kind of adversary, one that wielded influence and deception as deadly weapons. Armed with revelations of Council betrayal, Roy Adams rallied his allies for a decisive showdown within the hallowed chambers of the Galactic Assembly. He stood before the assembled delegates, presenting irrefutable evidence of the Council's collusion with the synthari remnants, and their intent to subvert galactic stability for their own gain. The assembly erupted into chaos as accusations flew and allegiances shifted in the face of betrayal exposed. Roy's impassioned plea for unity and justice resonated across the chamber, galvanizing support from member worlds disillusioned by the Council's duplicity. Together, they forged a new alliance, a coalition of worlds committed to upholding the principles of peace, justice, and collective defense. With the tide of galactic opinion turning against the Council's conspirators, Roy Adams and his coalition allies set their sights on Nexus Prime, a bastion of Council power and a strategic nexus in the galactic core. The Indomitable led a daring assault on the fortified Council stronghold, its sleek hull cutting through the void with purpose and determination. The siege of Nexus Prime unfolded in a maelstrom of laser fire and explosive volleys, as Coalition warships engaged in a pitched battle against Council loyalists, defending their embattled citadel. Roy's tactical acumen and the indomitable spirit of his crew proved pivotal in overcoming the Council's fortified defenses and securing a foothold within Nexus Prime's inner sanctum. As the dust settled over Nexus Prime, the Council's conspirators were brought to justice for their crimes against the galaxy. Roy Adams stood before the Galactic Assembly once more, his voice a clarion call for accountability and reform within the highest echelons of galactic governance. With newfound unity and resolve, the Assembly embarked on a path of reconciliation and renewal. Reforms were enacted to strengthen interstellar cooperation, enhance defense protocols, and safeguard against future threats to galactic peace. Roy Adams and his allies, once embroiled in conflict and mistrust, now stood as architects of a brighter future for the galaxy. As the HSS Indomitable prepared to depart Nexus Prime, Roy Adams reflected on the tumultuous journey that had brought them to this moment of triumph and transformation. The ship's hull bore scars of battles fought and alliances forged, a testament to the resilience and fortitude of humanity in the face of adversity. The legend of the Indomitable and its crew echoed across the stars, inspiring future generations to uphold the values of courage, unity, and justice. Roy knew that the galaxy remained a vast and unpredictable frontier, filled with challenges yet to be faced and discoveries yet to be made. But as long as the spirit of cooperation and mutual respect endured, humanity and its allies would navigate the cosmos together, forging a legacy of peace and prosperity for generations to come. With Nexus Prime secured and the Council's traitors brought to justice, Roy Adams and his crew turned their attention to the daunting task of rebuilding and reconciliation. The galaxy, scarred by years of conflict and intrigue, looked to the coalition of worlds led by Roy for guidance and stability in the post-Council era. The Indomitable became a symbol of hope and resilience, undertaking humanitarian missions to aid planets ravaged by war and oppression. Roy's diplomatic prowess and leadership were tested as he navigated the complexities of integrating former Council worlds into the coalition, fostering trust and cooperation among diverse civilizations. Amidst the galaxy's fragile peace, whispers of a new threat began to surface, rumors of synthari remnants regrouping in the uncharted regions beyond known space. Intelligence reports hinted at covert synthari operations, infiltrating isolated colonies and stirring unrest among disenfranchised factions. Roy Adams received a cryptic transmission from an enigmatic informant, warning of a looming synthari resurgence and urging swift action to prevent another cataclysmic conflict. With the coalition's resources stretched thin and trust still fragile, Roy faced a daunting choice: pursue the elusive synthari threat or focus on consolidating the fragile peace within the coalition. As tensions simmered within the coalition over the looming synthari threat, fractures began to appear among member worlds distrustful of Roy's leadership and the coalition's ability to protect against hidden enemies. Political rivals and opportunistic factions seized upon growing uncertainty, sowing seeds of doubt and discord within the fragile alliance. Betrayal struck unexpectedly from within as a prominent coalition member defected to the remnants of the synthari faction, providing them with vital intelligence and technological resources. The Indomitable found itself on the defensive once more, navigating a treacherous landscape of shifting allegiances and hidden agendas. With the defection of a key coalition member, Roy Adams and his loyal allies embarked on a desperate race against time to thwart the synthari resurgence. The Indomitable spearheaded a daring expedition into uncharted territories, where synthari sleeper cells lay dormant, awaiting the signal to strike. Tensions reached a boiling point as the Indomitable confronted remnants of the synthari fleet in a decisive battle among the icy moons of a distant star system. Roy's tactical brilliance and unwavering resolve were put to the ultimate test as the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. Through dogged perseverance and strategic cunning, Roy Adams uncovered a web of intrigue and deception woven by the Synthari remnants and their clandestine allies within the coalition. The defection of a prominent member world was revealed to be part of a broader conspiracy to destabilize the fragile peace and plunge the galaxy into chaos once more. As the Indomitable exposed the conspiracy's architects, the galaxy recoiled in shock and outrage. Roy's steadfast leadership and unyielding pursuit of justice restored faith in the Coalition's ability to safeguard galactic security. The stage was set for a final confrontation that would determine the fate of the galaxy and cement Roy's legacy as a defender of peace and freedom. In a climactic showdown amidst the swirling nebulae of the galactic core, the Indomitable and its coalition allies faced off against the combined forces of the Synthari remnants and their treacherous collaborators. The void echoed with the thunderous roar of plasma cannons and the crackling discharge of energy shields as the fate of civilizations hung in the balance. Roy Adams stood at the helm of the Indomitable, his gaze unwavering as he marshaled his forces with precision and determination. The battle raged with ferocity and intensity, each side unleashing devastating salvos in a struggle for supremacy that would decide the future of the galaxy. Amidst the chaos and carnage of the final battle, Roy Adams and his coalition allies emerged victorious, shattering the Synthari remnants and dismantling the conspiracy that threatened galactic peace. The Indomitable stood as a beacon of hope and resilience, its hull scarred but unbroken, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity and its allies. As the galaxy celebrated the defeat of the Synthari threat, Roy Adams reflected on the arduous journey that had brought them to this moment of triumph. The coalition emerged stronger and more unified, committed to forging a future of cooperation and mutual respect among all sentient beings. With the Synthari threat vanquished and the galaxy at peace once more, Roy Adams and his crew embarked on a new chapter of exploration and discovery. The Indomitable charted unexplored sectors and forged alliances with newfound civilizations, laying the groundwork for a future of prosperity and cooperation across the stars. As Roy gazed out at the infinite expanse of the cosmos, he knew that the journey was far from over. New challenges awaited, new frontiers beckoned, but with courage and unity, humanity and its allies would face the unknown with hope and determination. In the aftermath of the climactic battle against the Synthari remnants, echoes of the past reverberated through the galaxy. Old wounds began to heal, and shattered alliances were painstakingly rebuilt. Roy Adams, now hailed as a hero across coalition worlds, faced the daunting task of reconciliation and reconstruction. The Indomitable became a symbol of unity and resilience, its crew tirelessly assisting in rebuilding war-torn planets and fostering diplomatic ties among once hostile factions. Roy's leadership was tested anew as he navigated the delicate balance between justice for the perpetrators of the conspiracy and the need for forgiveness and reconciliation. As the galaxy settled into an uneasy peace, the legacy of the Indomitable and its crew grew ever more legendary. Stories of their courage and determination spread far and wide, inspiring future generations to embrace the values of cooperation and solidarity. Roy Adams, now retired from active duty but still an influential voice in galactic affairs, dedicated himself to mentoring the next generation of leaders. The Indomitable, now a museum and memorial to those who had sacrificed so much for peace, continued to serve as a beacon of hope in troubled times. Just as the galaxy began to heal from the scars of war, a new threat emerged from the shadows, a mysterious alien race known as the Vexillans, whose advanced technology and ruthless tactics posed a dire challenge to the fragile peace. Roy Adams, called upon once more to lead in times of crisis, assembled a coalition of old allies and new friends to confront the Vexillans. The Indomitable, refitted and upgraded for a new era of warfare, embarked on a daring mission to uncover the origins and intentions of this enigmatic foe. Amidst the initial skirmishes with the Vexillans, doubts and suspicions surfaced within the coalition. Some questioned Roy's judgment in engaging with an unknown enemy, while others feared a return to the dark days of conflict and chaos. As tensions mounted and diplomatic efforts faltered, Roy Adams found himself once again at a crossroads, torn between the necessity of decisive action and the risks of galvanizing old rivalries. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance as the Indomitable raced against time to unravel the mystery of the Vexillans and prevent another devastating war. In the heart of Vexillan territory, amidst the swirling maelstrom of their formidable defenses, the Indomitable faced its greatest challenge yet. Roy Adams, alongside his steadfast crew and coalition allies, confronted the ruthless Vexillan war machine with courage and determination. The battle raged with unparalleled ferocity, each side unleashing devastating salvos in a desperate struggle for survival. Lives were lost, sacrifices made, but through unwavering resolve and strategic brilliance, Roy Adams and the Indomitable emerged victorious once more. With the Vexillan threat temporarily subdued, Roy Adams seized the opportunity to forge a fragile truce among coalition worlds. The scars of war and mistrust ran deep, but the shared experience of confronting a common enemy laid the groundwork for renewed cooperation and understanding. The Indomitable, battered but unbowed, embarked on a new mission of exploration and diplomacy. Roy Adams, ever the visionary leader, sought to build bridges across once hostile borders and lay the foundation for a lasting peace in the galaxy. As the Indomitable ventured into uncharted regions of the galaxy, Roy Adams and his crew encountered ancient civilizations and enigmatic anomalies that defied explanation. Each discovery brought new challenges and opportunities, testing the limits of their resolve and expanding the horizons of human understanding. Amidst the wonders of the unknown frontier, Roy Adams found himself grappling with existential questions about humanity's place in the cosmos and the responsibilities that came with their newfound knowledge. The journey was far from over, and the mysteries of the universe awaited those brave enough to seek them. Across the vast expanse of the galaxy, paths converged once more as old allies and adversaries alike came together in the face of a common threat. The Indomitable, now a symbol of unity and hope, stood ready to defend against new challenges and forge alliances that transcended differences. Roy Adams, now an elder statesman revered for his wisdom and leadership, imparted his knowledge to the next generation of explorers and diplomats. The legacy of the Indomitable lived on, a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity and its allies in the pursuit of peace and understanding. Despite the fragile peace achieved at the Vexillans, whispers of dissent and treachery began to echo through the coalition. Suspicion fell upon remnants of the synthari conspiracy, believed to have survived the previous conflict. Roy Adams, vigilant and wary of old adversaries, launched covert missions to uncover the truth behind these shadowy threats. As tensions simmered and old wounds threatened to reopen, Roy faced the daunting task of maintaining unity within the coalition while rooting out the remnants of the conspiracy determined to destabilize the fragile peace. In a shocking turn of events, evidence surfaced pointing to a high-ranking official within the coalition as a key conspirator working in collusion with the remaining synthari elements. Roy Adams, faced with betrayal from within, struggled to reconcile the ideals of trust and cooperation he had fought so hard to uphold. The Indomitable, now at the forefront of a covert war against insidious forces, embarked on a relentless pursuit to expose the truth and bring the perpetrators to justice. Loyalties were tested, alliances strained, as Roy navigated the murky waters of deception and intrigue threatening to tear the fragile coalition apart. Amidst the turmoil of internal strife, Roy Adams found himself grappling with the weight of leadership and the sacrifices demanded by the relentless pursuit of peace. The burdens of command weighed heavily as he confronted difficult decisions that would shape the future of the galaxy. Haunted by the ghosts of past battles and the specter of betrayal, Roy leaned on the unwavering support of his loyal crew and steadfast allies. Together, they forged ahead with unwavering determination, their resolve strengthened by the shared commitment to uphold the principles of justice and unity. With the truth exposed and justice served, the coalition emerged from the shadows of betrayal stronger and more united than ever before. Roy Adams, tempered by the trials of leadership and the crucible of conflict, emerged as a beacon of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. The Indomitable, now a symbol of redemption and renewal, embarked on a new mission to mend the wounds of division and forge a path to lasting peace. Roy's vision of a galaxy united in purpose and cooperation guided their journey forward, as they navigated the complexities of diplomacy and reconciliation. As the galaxy settled into an uneasy peace once more, echoes of hope reverberated across coalition worlds. Old rivalries gave way to newfound alliances, and the scars of past conflicts began to fade amidst the promise of a brighter future. Roy Adams, now revered as a statesman and visionary leader, dedicated himself to fostering dialogue and understanding among diverse civilizations. The Indomitable, now a symbol of unity and resilience, continued to serve as a testament to the enduring spirit of cooperation and collaboration. As the Indomitable charted a course into the unknown reaches of the galaxy, Roy Adams and his crew embraced the boundless possibilities of discovery and exploration. New frontiers awaited, filled with mysteries and wonders that beckoned to be explored and understood. Amidst the vast expanse of stars and planets, Roy Adams found solace in the pursuit of knowledge and the bonds forged through shared experiences. The journey was far from over, and the Indomitable stood ready to face the challenges of the unknown with courage and determination.